Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Reasonable Contractor podcast. I am your host, Ryan Templin, the Reasonable Tech Dad. And our guest today brings a little bit of that young man energy to the game, which, I'm a big fan of because that's a big theme we talk about here is getting young people into the trades. And it is Michael Fafinski.
Yes, you said
I
it
am
right.
saying that correctly. Thank you. Thank you. And with Gutter Galaxy out of Lakeville.
Yes. Yep. Our main focus is Lake Minnetonka area, but yep, out of Lakeville.
Roger that. Well, let's get the story straight from you then. How'd you get started? Tell us how you got going with Gutter Galaxy.
Yeah. I think I'd bring it back even further. I come from a very entrepreneurial family. In my extended family, there's over 12. My father is an entrepreneur. Three of his brothers as well. And so ever since a young age, I kind of just been in that world.
That's so cool.
I remember I'm a first grader in Hawaii with my father, like asking him questions. Then he's teaching me about barriers to entry and stuff like that. So yeah. And so that was kind of how I grew up. At 16, I was working at Marcus Theater in Rosemount for like $9 an hour, and I was like, I can do something.
This ain't
better.
it. This ain't it.
Yeah, no, I wasn't happy with it. There's a lot of free popcorn though, so that was good.
Right, there's some benefits.
Yeah. So after that summer job, I was like, all right, like this needs to change. And then I just started lawn mowing. I never mowed a lawn a day in my life. So the same day I mowed my first clients, I practiced on my parents' property, just like with a push mower. Like it was scrapped together, but I did a good job. By the end of that summer, I had a buddy's younger brother working with me, and he helped me out. He was great. The year after that, I hired my some of my high school friends. So I'm a 17-year-old managing other 16 and 17-year-olds.
Employees.
Yep. And that one exactly how you think it went.
Shit show.
Yeah.
Making money, no bills.
Yeah. I mean, you were 1099. Like it was, yeah.
But I bet it was a blast.
It was fun for a lot of it, but then I wasn't a good boss though at the same time. So I mean, there's definitely some issues, some relationships broken, mended along the way though. But it was mostly on me, I just didn't know how to manage people.
For sure.
And then I discovered like the subcontracting world, and just how that works. And so I was able to find businesses that don't want to deal with homeowners and they just want to produce. And so I started utilizing them, and just kind of had like a flat 25% margin on it. And then for like maybe 2 years, I kind of went on autopilot. I was having fun, senior year, summer, and then, freshman year, like, I had different priorities for sure.
No doubt. No doubt.
Oh, yeah. And so, I kind of, after a while, I knew like, that's not a business I wanted to scale, with just the roadblocks, that come with that. And so I was midway through my sophomore year of college, J-term. I went to University of St. Thomas. So J-term is basically you can take like one class in that time, but everybody's off campus. There's nothing to do. And I was like, all right, like I'm going to launch a new business. Like I need to do something. Like I can't just be drinking 2 times a week.
I'm bored. I'm going to start another business. Dude, what a guy. I like it.
Yeah. And so I started throwing stuff at the wall, just seeing what would stick. I met a guy named Josh, and he was kind of my entrance into gutters. And there was some really good hail years previously. So that was a really good launch. We ended up going separate ways, clean break, caught up with him a month or 2 ago. He's doing good. He decided to go do other opportunities, and I wanted to double down on it. So I was starting over, by myself junior year summer, and I don't know how I did it. Like I was working 12 plus hours a day, doing school,
That's
the work,
crazy.
the admin, project management. I've never been in the field installing myself. I've done it a few times to learn, but
Sure.
I have been the main installer. And, all while, like, I'm living like a normal college student. Like,
That's
I'm
beast mode, man. Holy shit, you were getting it in, dude.
yeah. I mean, like, I'm like, going out, like having fun, doing 2 nights a week, whatever. Now I'm like, I can't drink.
Time
I
for
got to
that.
work out. I got to go into my office at this time. And I'm still not as productive as I was back then.
God, isn't that
Um,
crazy? Even at your young
yeah.
age, you knew the energy just wasn't there. There's blockers to that. You were talking about blockers to scale. There's blockers to metabolism and energy too,
Yes.
right? Like, yeah, dude.
100%. 100%. Um, but I made some good I mean, well, I was doing everything myself for a while, and that was hard. I made some good hires, some virtual employees in the background, got it more systematized. I've always been an SOP first type of guy, where even to the fault of me, I'm like, hey, we need a process going into this, or else, the customers are going to suffer, the efficiency is going to suffer. I got some really good crews that work with me and made my life super easy. I went through maybe 25 plus crews, like,
Man,
and I'm meeting them, or I have a whole system on how I vet them. It starts with the phone call. How well or how fast do they reply with their price list, and then meet with them and see if they look clean, and just everything down the line. I'm weeding out people. So, and I used 25 crews for a project. So I probably actually talked to about 60 crews, and got the right guys. And then to sum it kind of up, my company is kind of primarily a production company for exterior companies. And we're branching out, but what the previous model has worked for us is we just make it as easy as possible to give us work. So that means the work order comes in, we tell you, hey, you're 20 feet off here. Hey, you want to check out this? Like, is it okay if we change this? Like, we are getting those issues before we're on site. And then scheduling, like, you're not chasing us down for a schedule. You get sent the schedule, or the schedule date, and then the customers can get texted from us as well, if you so choose. And then we send them arrival windows, and then, completion photos, and just make it as easy as possible. It's kind of the bare minimum. But in this industry, it really sets you apart.
I would agree.
Yeah. Yeah. And
You had your
then,
systemized just to get you booked on the podcast, dude. You made that easy for me. So I know exactly what you're talking about, dude. And I'm a
yes.
systems guy too. Like, I'm listening. I'm like, man, these are kindred spirits. Continue, please.
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. And then about 9 months ago, I rebranded to launch our direct-to-homeowner route. So a year ago, we weren't accepting any homeowners directly, because it was just not. I didn't have it systematized. And I'm not going to do something that I'm not ready for.
I love it.
So we rebranded to Gutter Galaxy. It's pretty catchy. It has a good
It is
logo.
catchy.
Yeah, yeah. We got a good mascot, Gary.
You got a
Gary,
cool whip on your website. You got you on Good Morning America for a couple of clips, dude. That's a slick website. It's got nice color that pops.
thank you. Yeah, yeah. I actually built that website. I wish I didn't. I wish I just forked over the like $5,000 for somebody to do it. But yeah, Fox and Friends was really fun. That was a good for
How
the
did that
ego.
come up? How did that come together? How did you land that deal? Or did they come to you?
Yeah. So University of St. Thomas, my college, wrote an article on me. And so that was great. That did some good for us, got some good SEO in the background stuff. But Fox and Friends found that and then reached out to me actually to come on. And
Wow,
I
dude.
was like,
From
oh
the
yeah, of
St.
course.
Thomas paper.
Yeah, yeah.
Damn, dude, that's nuts. I mean, amazing for you. How were the nerves on that, dude? Just like, was that kind of surreal?
It was, but I will say it was like, okay, I was supposed to go on at like 6:40 or 7:40 or whatever time it was. And so, it's 38 and I'm like, my heart's beating. 39, I'm like, oh God.
Yeah, dude.
40, I'm like, oh God, oh God. And then they were like 6 minutes late. So I came down and I was like super calm and collected by the time I went on.
That adrenaline just went,
Yeah. Yeah.
dropped.
And I was like, it was the best situation possible because I was completely like cool headed by the time I went live.
Dude, that's amazing. Just went on there and nailed it. That's so cool.
Yeah.
That's just that's a really cool story, man. Like, as somebody who's been an aspiring entrepreneur, you've built bigger systems than I've ever built, but that's how my brain works in systems too. And it's just interesting to hear from someone that's basically iterated through the learning process of that. And to hear you say, like, I talked to 60 crews, now I got a good crew. And you, when you say I got a good crew, that back work usually doesn't come with that story. But going through 60 crews, you really did the work to find that group.
100%.
And especially if you got SOPs to operate off of, right? Like, you understand criteria and then you're trying stuff out, like this piece of criteria when you said reply time. If they come back in a week and it should have been a 24, 48-hour deal, you're like, yeah, well, I know this isn't going to work. So it's crazy to me that you were able to iterate so quickly. And I assume that probably has something to come back with your pops and your dad being able to have some insight and be able to grow up the way you did.
Yeah, 100%. And my favorite SOP is how to create an SOP.
No way. Systems for your systems?
Yeah.
Oh, we're kindred spirits, dude. I got a system for implementing each piece of the system, dude. Oh, that's how I talk about a lot of my code stuff. And yeah. Let's get into some questions, some of the details that I like to get in with businesses, which is nice. Like, so, you already talked about what makes you good and what separates you, which is usually one of my questions, because I can tell you from talking to contractors already on this podcast, even though it's kind of young, we've been doing this for a couple months. I think this is episode 8. That's kind of a foreign concept to a lot of construction guys, especially the one-man small contractors that I've talked to a lot on this podcast. So, that's the piece that I think would separate you. So then if you got a system in place, what's exciting about your business right now? You just did that launch last year. I know you got something else cooking. What are you excited about next, dude?
Yeah. Well, first on the what differentiates us, I just want to say our promise or guarantee is communication, craftsmanship, and hassle-free. So that's what I believe sets us apart. But what I got cooking, my favorite project I got going on right now is actually to know what's going forward. So I am doing my annual strategic review, and it's like a 17 different topic thing on, like, for example, like marketing, and then like SEO, Google ads, direct mail, like all of like our different little stuff within my business. And then I review it. I blurt out my info. I have it open right now. I got bottlenecks / issues, the root cause, how to simplify, like what do I need to simplify in it? What's 2026 direction? And just basically it touches a point on every single thing in my business to be able to know, like, what's the highest priority I actually need to go forward? What budget should I be cutting? What should I be allocating? And that's the most exciting thing for me. What I think is going to happen, I don't want to say it's like 100%, but I want to be the go-to gutter guy for all remodelers, addition home builders, just everybody, and every type of gutter. So there's special order stuff from Boston, copper, steel, and I want to hit every little thing so that I'm like, no matter what in gutters, you go to Gutter Galaxy or Michael, and it's going to get solved. I think that's the direction I'm going to take it, just so I can be like a white glove full service for my contractors.
Dude, that's amazing. I do a lot of stuff system wise at this time of year too, and tear through and re-tear down to make sure clarity, all those things you were listing.
Oh
like and people, for years, people have asked me why I go through all that. They know I got the notes and receipts on everything. Well, it's because of the clarity. When I sit down and do this thing at the end of the year, it brings me absolute peace as a man to have that clarity, dude. Because you know how it builds up and it stacks up, and you leave a little mess here. You leave, oh yeah, get to that later. No, and eventually some of that stuff has to get set to the side, right? There's priorities.
Yeah.
But you can't just let those things build, because then they get uncontrollable. There's pieces and too many things hanging around until you take that time to strip it all down. Oh, the clarity, dude. When you say exactly what
100%.
we're going to be working on, and the fact that you can lay that out exactly what you're excited, I'd be willing to bet you can probably talk about numbers and goals, which you don't have to get into all that, but I bet you got it, don't you?
Yes. Yes, I
Yes.
do.
Absolutely
Of
you do.
course. I
To the
run
penny.
traction, VTO. We got KPIs out the Hazuza,
Oh
all that
gosh,
stuff.
dude. We could go on for a long time, dude. But I want to be respectful of your time.
I'll go
And
as
what's
long as you
challenging?
want, man. I cleared
Really? You're
it.
just hanging today? Cool. Let's
Yeah.
chop it up then. I mean, let's just stay on the metrics. What's talk to me. So you know way more about it than I do because you've implemented it. So I'm curious. So what KPIs are you looking at for this year? How do you decide which ones are moving you forward? Because it sounds like to me you don't do as much homeowner. When you said who your go-to people are, you're talking about remodelers, and it sounds like you're still on. You're supplying for businesses and other contractors. Yes or no?
Yes. So I'll go more into that before we go into KPIs. So
Please do.
this year, like with that launch 9 months ago, on the retail brand, I wanted like 50% of my revenue to come from direct to homeowners. And honestly, it was just super unrealistic on what could actually happen. I put way too much assumptions into digital marketing, especially Google ads, Facebook ads, and all of that. And so I spent a ton of money, way too much money on it. I learned some really good lessons from it though.
Absolutely.
And so I was kind of going full force as a direct to consumer brand, but now I'm like, okay, like let's get back to the basics. I know what works. Let's focus on that and then do it over a longer term period. Also, being a subcontractor, like I can provide, it can provide a little bit more of reoccurring and more stability. And I think a lot of it, what like I was reviewing back on it, I think a lot of it was just the market for home service is not the best right now. So it's not the best time to launch a completely new, direct to homeowner route there. But so yeah, this year I'm like, okay, like let's get back to the basics. Let's network. I have a booth at Builder Remodeler show at Canterbury. This year, getting involved with Housing First and a ton of other associations, and just trying to get back to like relationships and doing, and because people do business with who they like. And I kind of set that aside. I was way too utilitarian with it. And so it is a pretty big direction change for us, honestly.
Well, as a systems guy, correct me if I'm wrong. A lot of times we make a big assumption. I've done it too.
Oh,
Marketing and digital as websites. Like, think of all the volume. Think of how efficient it could be when you do the math. Like, all I got to do is get this number of clicks or this many visitors, and it's going to convert at this percentage, and this is where we're going to land revenue wise. It's going to be fantastic. Until it doesn't, you know what I mean? Do you and you said it was the market? Was it just a volume thing when you made that approach? You had spent all that money on ads. Do you think the market volume wasn't there from the homeowner
I,
side?
I I think there's less leads, and they're also being competed on by more companies.
Yes.
And so like my Google ads goes around like $300 per lead, and like that's just not
Jesus.
sustainable. And I
Right.
thought I was gonna go down, and so my kind of was like, hey, like we're not doing Google ads until it's a hotter market. Or we have enough other, volume from things to actually have it make sense. Our SEO is doing pretty good. There were definitely leads coming in, but at the end of the day, I was getting like majority of my leads from my Google My Business profile, which is free. And I just knew how to rank number one, just with like pictures and reviews and all of
It's
that.
crazy how well that thing works right now, dude. I
It
swear
does.
for all contractors, I feel like it is the number one digital thing right now is your Google profile. Cause I don't know
100%.
exactly when they made that switch. Cause my first entrepreneurial pursuit was 15 years ago. I quit my
Okay.
industrial electrician job and I wanted to be a digital marketer because that was the hot, you know, freedom thing at the time.
Yeah.
And when I dug into that, dude, it was a lot of blog writing, same thing you're talking about, but a little more old school at the time. But
Hmm.
Google's main profiles, they had their map, but it was nothing like it is now. And you'd probably be able to tell me when they made this switch. But somewhere along the line, because I used to do that, I used to claim profiles for people that didn't even know they existed. But now it's not, it's like social media. You make a weekly post versus the other three electricians or the other three whoever. And that blows you, that just that activity, because Google knows how the people are using it. You talk about anybody, any of those homeowners you're talking about, maybe if they're shopping, they might ask some friends if they know a guy or whatever, and that maybe takes a certain amount away. But I feel like very often they're going to go, I need gutters for Savage, Minnesota, for Lakeville, Minnesota, electrician for Savage. And they're going to look at that map and they're not going to look far. They're going to look at, they're going to grab their 3 people, because that's the number everybody uses, and they're going to call off of that map, and they're going to make a decision off of that map. And people, I think a lot of contractors, you can speak to it, how incredibly fast you can rank on that map just by posting some pictures.
Yeah. No, and I deep dived into kind of like the research behind it. I did some consulting for like some Upwork guys that were like $50, and I just pressured them with questions, and I just got like a really deep understanding. And I believe it's SEO and GMB. I think that's the best digital marketing currently. There's social media that takes a really long time and
super long
consistency.
time.
But that works as well. I like to frame things as like, not it doesn't work, but I don't know how to make it work yet.
Well said.
I don't have the skills to make it work yet.
Well said.
So I'm just putting them away for a while and focusing on other things. But getting reviews, getting like 2 reviews a week is just absolutely huge.
2 a week, interesting.
Yeah. Because Google likes a consistency. To rank high, they want to know that you're consistent. So posting consistent photos, there's posts, updates you can do consistently. There's offers you can do, like 5% off. Doesn't have to be like a real offer. And then responding to your reviews and putting the keywords you want in there. This customer was in Minnetonka. They got gutter guard, and being very diligent with those keywords can help you rank.
Keywords in your response to the review. I haven't heard of that before.
Yeah.
Interesting, dude.
And then they talk about geotagging the photos. I don't believe in it, but maybe.
I honestly think you're super spot on with the reviews and the responding to that, but I guess Google's algorithm is as good as mine. Or as good as anybody's guess.
Yeah.
I'm building out a digital presence for my first podcast guest right now, and it seems like if you're a systems guy, you're dabbling with some AI tools for some of this stuff. And that's kind of my avenue. That's what I've been heavy into for the last 2 years, a little more on the coding end. And that's actually what generated this podcast, is I wanted to talk to guys like you and figure out what to build. I've spent 2 years getting these tools down, and I still draw prints for my dad's lumberyard out in Wisconsin. And I started building him like this super complex estimating thing. I'm like, this is so stupid. Like, they're still like taking receipts off the printer and putting it in a basket to get invoiced in a couple of days. You know what I mean? I'm like, this can't, Dad. No, Pop, no. I'm trying to. So I spent all this time building this super complex thing, and I ran into some hangups on the agent pieces. But ultimately, I'm trying to figure out what to build for people. So, like, that's interesting to me as I build out for my buddy Sergio for renewal experts. We've been doing a lot of the Google profile and stuff like that. Okay. And where I ran into a clash, I built him his websites, and I used AI to generate demo content, both the text and the video. And when I went to claim his Google business profile, they insta-banned it, insta-suspended because of generated content. False advertising.
Oh, really?
For construction contractors, my deep research, I actually paid as soon as I got done. I'm like, oh shit, like we can't have this. I started clicking buttons all fast. Like, who can I talk to? Talk to Google. That's not really an option.
You're terrible.
It's so rough, dude. So listen, this was 6 weeks ago. I paid for a one-on-one expert, and that's, a consultant like any other. Got on the phone. He's like, oh yeah, you got to just update the phone number and then, get his address right on there, and you'll be fine. So I switched those things, submitted the appeal, denied. almost instant. Again, for AI generated images, and they didn't tell me any of that. They didn't say that, you know what I mean? And I generated them with Gemini, like Veo. Like, I'm like, you guys be kidding me. But the thing now, I think we got it squared away on the third one, but they don't give you if you appeal a third time and you get denied, there's no more appealing, supposedly.
Yeah, I've actually just had that issue because I moved my location to Deep Haven from St. Paul, and then I had to do like a live video there. That worked. I guess I got one more day. It says it's fine, but they're still gonna like review it again, and it might get
Dude, it's
denied.
crazy. And that's all
It
new stuff.
it is, but it makes sense. I mean, like there's a lot of fake GMBs out there, and there should be some more constraints. But some of it's like, like we should be able to use AI. Like, come on.
It's crazy because it's a new problem, and you're right. I agree with you, and that's where I was at, where like I'm super frustrated, but I can't get mad because cleaning up the system is only going to help all the legitimate businesses, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And I completely understand with a service-based business where you're like, well, we cover this area. Basically, the storm chasers, right?
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
storm chasers get crazy with that stuff because they're going to make a big chunk of money. They can throw a ton of whatever. As long as they get the storm, then they're covering their cost. So you get a
100%.
lot of bullshit. So I understand their side of it, absolutely, having to filter things out.
Yeah, and I'm trying to figure out a way to launch multiple GMBs. And that's something I've been working with some consultants on, and I think I've figured out a way for us to have a few around the cities here, because I was like, hey, like I could spend, $1,000 a month on co-working spaces and get my GMBs around the cities, or I could spend like $4,000 on Google ads and then another 1,700 for a retainer on that Google ads. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to go this route.
So have you been able to do that? You've
Just
been able to
started that.
create? Okay, just starting. You don't have any feedback yet. And what's your plan there? Can you use the same company name, or how would you do that? You would say it's Gutter Galaxy Rosemount, Gutter Galaxy Lakeville, and would they allow you to have separate profiles that way?
So I don't think you're supposed to have, from my research, you're not supposed to have um, city names or location names in the title. So you
Okay.
do the exact same name, different address. You need to have signage out front visible, or when you walk into the office space, it's on the directory. That's really important. That's like one of the number one reasons why they're gonna cancel it. Keys to get in. You need to have somebody always there ready to represent your company. So you got to basically work with these front desk people. You got to make sure the co-working space has a front desk person, and then you got to say, hey, like you need to be able to like collect some information for me. And I'm doing this all like the right way, I'm not trying to,
Which is smart, dude.
scam Google, but
Absolutely
um,
not.
yeah. And there's some other things. I think like photos, you can post the exact same. Descriptions, you want a little bit different. Google reviews, I'm doing like, I'm gonna go back to my old customers, like, hey, can you give me another review? But not to do that. The same customer should not review more than 2 GMBs, because if you have 6 and then you have 6 customers on all that, then they're gonna
They're
flag
going to
that.
catch that. They're going to auto flag that.
Yep. Service area, you can't have like Plymouth in there twice on 2 GMBs. You got to
Okay.
separate those out. No
Okay.
overlap.
That makes sense.
I'm gonna try out the counties though. I think the county should be fine. I mean, especially if it's in that county. So, but I'll give you some feedback on it. I'm excited to
Please
test it
do.
out.
That's so interesting because, yeah, man, it's when I did my research, there was guys that had GMBs that were sitting around for a while and then got suspended from this new round of flagging when
Yeah.
they started cracking down. Like, oh, you've got this thing with 130 reviews on it. You don't ever touch it. You haven't touched it in 2 years. But, excuse me, they just banned it because of the auto
Consistency.
flags. Dude, yeah, tough game. Things are changing out there. People got
Yeah.
to stay on top of their stuff. What kind of challenges? What's hard? What things are pain in your ass right now, dude?
What isn't hard?
Fair. Well said. God, you got the years ahead of you, sir. Like the wisdom's there. I love it.
I got the pain of a 50-year-old.
I like it.
What's hard? I would say like the marketing, really. I mean, we're struggling with leads. We're not struggling with um quality people to do the work. I mean, I know that's usually what the situation is in the contractor space right now, but we're not struggling with our people. I got some really great crews. Um,
Just leads then, huh?
yeah, leads. I mean, figuring it out as a 23-year-old, like that's probably my I've never worked at a corporate job.
Yeah.
My only work experience is
Getting
Marcus
money.
Theater.
Getting
Yeah.
money. That's the only work experience you got is getting money. I love that.
Like, I don't know how to lead people. I know
Son.
JD and Rose, my two virtual employees, are gonna watch this. They're gonna go, "Yeah, he has no idea. Like, he's
No
trying."
shit. Oh, that's
But
awesome, man.
yeah,
Well, then
implementing
we'll.
Traction, if you're familiar with that.
I am not.
Um,
Explain.
EOS Traction, it's just an entrepreneurial operating system. It's a way to run a small to medium sized business. It organizes your vision. And then also it's kind of like a meeting pulse and how to lead a little bit. It's a really good way just to be like, I'm going to religiously follow this book for like 2 years. And then from there, like I'll make my adjustments, like
Yes.
obviously it doesn't get everything, but it gets you 80% of the way there. So implementing that is hard. That's for
Yeah.
sure.
No doubt, dude. So implementing the systems, lead problem a little bit, but other than that, things are solid. You're smiling,
Yeah, it's fun.
business. Yeah,
Like
dude.
I'm like 6 months out of school or something, and like I can finally like focus all of my time on this, which is a blessing. It's really fun.
Well said, sir. Well, dude, just out of school, a question I always like to wrap up with is
Yeah.
talk to the next generation. You are the fucking next generation. Like, and you're doing it. So tell the kids and people your age why the trades are a good opportunity right now.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll speak from two different perspectives on that. For one, trade school and going down to become an electrician, not kind of I guess the business owner route. Um, I really believe in it. I think there's way too many people going to college. I think society pushes people to college and then they're $100,000 in debt. All because mom and dad said, like, I got a college education or I didn't get a college education. I want to provide that opportunity for you. And they push them to it.
Yes.
And if they're helping you with it and they're going to pay for that, like, I'd say take that opportunity. But if they're not, like, what's the ROI on that? Like, are you going for a communications major? Like, it's not going to ROI.
No.
Make sure you go into, I'm a big believer in gap years too. Like,
Same.
just take a year, figure it out, make a plan. You are not going to find yourself by going to college. You're combining living alone with girls or guys, whatever the opposite sex is, drinking, and like you're not going to figure yourself out if you stay at home
No.
in the same environment and then start testing things out. You're going to figure it out a lot better, and you're going to be down a different path and not 40 grand into debt after 1 year. And yeah, I mean, we need them. Like, demand is just going to go up. It's not that many barriers to entry comparatively. So like, if you decide you don't want to do it, like, okay, you're not out 40 grand. um, and then from a business owner perspective, I would just say, like, just jump in. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, come on, you're not
Yeah.
gonna like, it's the best way to learn. Like,
Yes. The only way to learn.
yes,
Yeah,
100%.
don't get, I mean, the system stuff is great. And as systems people, we said, we'd love to sit down and do the systems early on, jump in. If you've got to jump into a system first, but I was too into systems. Very in my entrepreneurial, like back when I said I left my industrial job and I
Yeah.
started, I'm gonna be a business owner, pulled out my 401k and fucking started laying into systems. I got caught too much in systems. and you get too caught up in the metrics and planning out all the stuff. Well, some of the stories we've talked about, and there's some action to be had. So I like when you say just jump in, start doing it. There's a balance to be had, right?
Yeah, I get caught up in the systems every day. Like,
Yes.
I mean, and that's what I'm really trying to work on is this time of year, focus on systems, and then like May comes around and like don't touch them. Like just action,
Just
action,
run the play, run the
Yes.
play. Yes.
Yes.
This is fantastic, dude. Michael, thank you. I don't want to take up too much more of your time. I got some other stuff I got to jet to here in a little bit too. So, dude, you're just brilliant, obviously, like the systems talk and doing the stuff at such a young age. This has been a super useful episode, not just for me, but for the people listening. And I really
Thank you.
appreciate your time, man. You want any other plugs to put out? Where can people find you? What do you want the people to know? How can we help you with that lead problem?
Yeah. Gutter Galaxy, all social medias. You look us up on Google, we're gonna be there. Give us a call, 612-500-5011. If you're a contractor, we'd love to work with you. We really try to customize solutions to each person, each company. It's not a one size fits all. We can make it work. You know, what do you want us to do for your clients and take care of them? If you're a sub, reach out to me. I'd love to work with you potentially if you pass the screens.
Yeah, gotta get through his tests.
Yeah. But yeah, that's it.
That's fantastic, dude. Michael, thank you so much, and I'll talk to you again soon.
Yeah. Thank you, brother.
Yep. Bye now.